The Existential Sins, what to do when powers beyond your reach and perception block your magic and bind your will, then string you about your day as if you were a marionette being played along a course of events that will leave you stripped of anything you may have been set to gain from your life's endeavors or anything else these veiled thieves desire, and you are left none the wiser and paying the consequences for their ulterior motives. More importantly, how do you go about telling someone of this, let alone who could possibly help you with something like this? Something I have learned recently is that asking God for help is not always the right and not the only answer. In the world there are many different angels in which God has placed to watch over mankind and the world, each with their own unique skill set of trademarks and ways that can apply to a myriad of problems. Hunting unseen adversaries and the Druids come to mind and their battles against the Ancient Ones. The Romany gypsies are good at foreseeing those that may have turned ill fortune into your path. African tribes are good at taking a spiritual stalker and pulling him into a temporary physical form to allow him to be subject to the elements and weaknesses of a physical body, which comes with all sorts of different possibilities there. Voodoo priests can provide a bridged connection for communication once the identity of the stalker has been found out. They are also sometimes able to render that entity, no matter who or what he is, temporarily powerless or at least crippled during the conversation. All of these secular beliefs, though they are not sanctioned by the Catholic Church, does not mean that they are not designed by God in their own right and that he does not accept them or considers them evil or unholy. Only when that belief places a figure, be he a martyr or hero, above him as a god and begins to draw worship from him, idolatry, is when that belief becomes unholy. Even Luciferianism, in the belief of universal balance found within life through the support of understanding and even accepting the acts of sin as long as they do not cross that ecumenical line and as long as it is in the heart of the practitioner that his cause is for the balance of good and evil which perpetuates the evolution of life. That it does not blaspheme the name of God but moreover ultimately displays the price paid and wages of sin, therefore showing mankind the ultimate value of piety through the necessity of evil's presence, then that practitioner has committed no sin, no wrong that will condemn him to hell. His occultist ways are no different from many others in the world, even though his may be of a left-handed path in nature. His goal and his heart is no different than any other culture in the world, accepted by God, though they do not all carry his name as we know it. Their goals are all aligned with his will, and that is what counts. Whether or not they are ways that would damn one's soul in the laws of divine justice. Let's call them the existential evils. They are the evil emotions and acts in which mankind bases his belief of what is right and what is wrong from, but the evils are those that do not directly offend the name of God. The ones that challenge his word and are more of a slap in the face than acts of overwhelmed emotion, such as hate, jealousy, greed, gluttony and wrath. These 5 are the basic raw existential evils. You will notice that adultery and idolatry are not listed. That is because, like I said, these are the carnal sins of mankind. The other sins like idolatry and adultery are like slaps in his face, and therefore they cannot be counted as sins of an evil nature that maintain a cosmic equilibrium or that perpetuates the evolution of life by knowing and understanding its values. In knowing each sin and its emotional triggers, its after effects and typical responses based on both the rational and irrational-minded individuals, then one can create mock scenarios much like the "if your life continues on this path" or "this was the life of ... who was filled with sin, and it led them and those they knew around them to their fate." You get what I'm saying? I'm sure point is that evil and damnation is reserved for those who destroy themselves and what is around them without care or concern for the world around them. This is my role and purpose as the Prince of Darkness and Father of Sin, is the promotion of the understanding of sin as it shows the value of virtue and thus the evolution of life, and the core of mankind's free will is defined by their understanding of right and wrong and the choice they make therein. It is the details of the image of Enoch's vision of the tree of good and evil and the throne in which my kingdom sat upon. Hell, you see, it is not eternal, but it can be if you become devoid of any possible sensibility to your own actions and the repercussions of them. It's all very technical, but as the incarnation of the personification, whom the world refers to as the devil, of the essence of evil, I understand it all very clearly. I see through the bullshits and lies and even the best and most complex of temptation techniques as a hot knife cuts through butter. I wonder if Jesus, being my technical counterpart I think in every way, could do the same with righteousness virtues? Having covered that any who are truly allied with the devil, any who claim in a court of law, or before the pulpit of the church, or even before the throne of God himself, will follow these guidelines, for it is my will. We promote the temptation of the 5 existential sins as means as described therein. We only use these techniques to tip the balance in the presence and against those who by conscious intent tip the balances of mankind either for or against either cause in an effort to bring chaos in any form, even if it is under the guise of a righteous cause. And these methods are only to be applied in times when the balance between good and evil are close to being even or at an equilibrium, in order to maintain that synchronized balance. I'm tired of hearing about people slandering and abusing the beliefs derived from the cause in which I myself and others have fought and toiled over for thousands of years. All these false prophets walking around making videos claiming fame and glory, yet know nothing of true evil, its cause or purpose, let alone follow behind my will as they should, as anyone who has sworn any allegiance to me has been required to do since its first conception on Mount Hebron, when Moses cast his brother from his place as the high priest of the holy temple, and Aaron came to join us in our cause as the high priest of the unholy temples, and becoming our greatest ally in our struggles against God and his dominating tabernacles and sacrifices. He brought to us the secrets of sanctifying the circle and cleansing of the temple, and rebuking his curses upon us and shielding us with protection from his anger and wrath which knew no end. As we had agreed, whenever mentioning him and our alliance we praise his name and give thanks, even thousands of years now gone, to him and his sacrifice to us. Anyone who does not adhere to these ways do not walk the left-hand path of Lucifer and are impostors to our name and cause. It is people like them that have led the church to believe and assume what our intentions are, and I'm tired of the strife. If these aren't your ways, then you are not of my flock, the devil does not know you, and you are just a lost soul confused and out of excuses.